And we're back, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Banter Boys, where we dive headfirst into Premier League. Without any further ado, I want to bring it back. I know it's been a minute. You know, we've had some international breaks, some fatigue on our part, but we're back. We're ready to dive right into it. So, winners and losers from this last week. And it was tough for a loser, not really. I don't want to say Chelsea because we always say Chelsea and they really are the loser, but I also want to say United. You know, they're playing City, and I know like they're not in the best form, and City's buzzing right now, but they just look piss poor. 3-0. It's not what United should be doing. And Sir Alex Ferguson said, "Not in my lifetime will City ever walk into a game the favorite." And brother, was he wrong? And my winner.
3-0 tonight as well, by the way.
You say what?
Didn't they lose 3-0 tonight as well?
Yeah, they did lose tonight to Newcastle, but that's neither here nor there. But it is here. And my winner of the week, honorable mention, BCL. He's back in form. Nice goal to give us the win over West Ham. But I have to go with that boy, Super Eddie Nketiah. Back in a hat trick for Arsenal. He's looking strong. Can he be solidified as a number 9 there? We'll see.
Wow.
All right. Love it.
Yep.
I'll jump in. I'll jump in next. Yeah. Sorry, Birch. So my winners, I'm just going to broadly honorable mention Arsenal. They got that big win on City and they've kind of kept rolling from there. They look like they're going to do it again for a while. They're going to be on top for a while or be near the top for a while. Who knows if they're going to be able to execute all the way through again, but they're in a good spot right now. But my true winner, Birchie, you're going to love it. Got to give it to Liverpool right now. I think they are exactly where they want to be right now. Everyone's focused on Spurs and City and Arsenal, and Liverpool's right there, 3 points off the top, just waiting and playing really well right now. So I got to give my winner to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Loser. I have two because I just have to be honest with myself. But my first one, before we get to what's going to hurt me, John, you can audit my math here, but Sheffield United, we're 10 games into the season. They have 1 point. That is over a quarter of the way through the season. So I'm pretty sure if they continue at this pace, they're going to finish on 4 points.
That would be correct.
And so that's a pretty big L. Obviously, they probably won't continue at this pace, but goodness, to be 10 games in and have 9 losses and 1 draw, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So that's a big L. And then the real loser, I'm just going to give it to myself. Before the season started, I predicted United would win the league. And at that time, I had real hope in that. I believe that we could at least challenge. But right now we are in the mud and I look like an idiot, but I can handle it. So I'll take the L.
We love honesty around here.
Yeah, we do love honesty. I think before Christmas, we need to revisit our predictions to see about the halfway mark where people are at. Because I had United second to Logie, so if that makes you feel any better. They're not finishing second either. So
absolutely not.
No. Well, I can go next. Logan, you've already covered mine, to be fair. I was going to say winner as the boys, but to be a little bit different, I'm going to say Brentford. I was at the Chelsea-Brentford game. Sorry, Jono. And I have to give it to Brentford fans, man. They were lit. All I could hear was Chelsea fans were non-existent. I was trying to get Jules into it, but it was just difficult, man. Chelsea made it really hard for us. And then losers, I was going to say West Ham. I was also at that game. I was fortunate enough to go to both the games this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, West Ham looked pants. I give it to Everton, though. They played really well, but West Ham were dreadful, though. Then
it's got to be some of that European football catching up with them, We said it at the beginning, and some teams aren't built for it.
Well, that's where I was going to go with that. That's why I was going to call them out for it, because they need to prepare themselves for more games, and they just can't. They're not proving themselves right now. So, in that same game, though, as an honorable mention for winners, I'd like to put Jordan Pickford in there. That man had the whole stadium wrapped around his little finger. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but he was thriving. The fans were on his back, and he was just
Passion merchant.
yeah. Love that man. We hate him and love him in England, but
Yeah.
Jordan Pickford, what a guy.
That's
Real quick, two things, Birch. First, you went to 2 games. You went to a game tonight, I think, too.
Yep.
Better than a college football atmosphere. We've had some discussions.
Sure.
Yeah, we've had
like unmatched. You can't
It's
even try
unmatched
to
energy.
compare.
Even before the game, like I know you guys have your your tailgating or whatever. Before that, it's you go to a pub, get a beer with the boys. You can't go wrong. Walk to the stadium. The songs are in there. The boys are just going ready for it. I must admit, Jono, I'm not, I hate to make this the Chelsea podcast, but the Chelsea fans were lacking a little bit. I know there wasn't much to root for, but I would say that one was a little low. But the West Ham fans, even though they lost, they were loving it. They're getting after it. The stadium's loud.
What about the away Goodison fans, the Goodison faithfuls?
The way we got on the train after the game, there's a bunch of Scouts boys on there. The whole train was just singing, and it was fantastic.
I love it.
That's great. Yeah.
Jeez. Well, yeah. So wrap things off. Well, there was a lot of winners this week, if we're being completely honest. So I kind of went an alternate route, and I went an individual. Right. This individual has gotten a lot of criticism from this group specifically, including Ivan Alvarado, who was on the podcast this last go around. He was on the team of the week. He's been playing phenomenal for the Boys and Blues. It's Mark Cucurella. Crazy, right? Crazy. But man has been putting in an absolute shift. And I hate that I'm saying this. But man has been absolutely buzzing, hair flowing and everything. He is looking fantastic. He's been working hard. Like I said,
Working hard.
and he's been great. He's been great. He's been great.
What are the stats? Hey, Onana's been working hard, but I'm not out here telling him he's a winner.
Mark Cucurella, he's been playing great.
He pocketed Saka.
He pocketed Saka.
You still didn't win that game.
Pocketed that man.
But you worked hard. Okay, that's the standard Chelsea Football Club.
No, I'm just saying he's been playing at a top level. He really has, and he's been playing great. So I'm going to give him some confidence, give him going a little bit. That's why he's my winner of the week.
Well, I hope he hears this, Jono.
I'm sure.
I hope he hears this for that confidence boost.
Oh man, he's looking great. I'm gonna give him credit.
I agree, but you can't. How are you going to give it to a man that's lost 2 games this week? In the last week, he's lost 2 games. Is he not?
No, just one.
Wait, you lost to Arsenal and then you just lost to.
Oh, we didn't lose to Arsenal. Come on now. We tied Arsenal.
They drew.
That's right.
We choked during Arsenal. Yeah, we choked.
But like a loss, they were up 2-0. Might as well.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Yeah, take what you get, right? But loser actually is Burnley. They lost to who was it? Bournemouth this last weekend. And in those games for those teams, you need to win. So that's kind of why I thought they were my loser of the week. You got to win those relegation battles or those relegation games at the bottom of the table. And they lost that, so they're my loser of the week.
That's fair.
So for this next segment, we're gonna do something a little bit different, and we're gonna go through our top 5 best signings so far this year, and then also our top 5 worst signings this year. So let's go ahead and start. Jono and I are gonna do the worst signings, top to bottom. Who is your 5th worst signing in the Premier League this season?
Yeah, so Benny, I thought long and hard about this. I really have. I do have 2 players on one team. Sorry, Logie. I'm going to start with that man Mason Mount in the 5 slot. Not saying he's a bad player, but man, he's just had a rough go. For I don't even remember how much he was worth, but man has not done one thing. I know he's battled some injuries. And again, not saying he's a terrible player, but man, what a awful start from that man Mason Mount. He looked awful today.
Boy,
he used to be my boy. He used to be my boy. I can't lie to you, but man, I feel bad for the guy. I really do. Bring him back. We'll sign him for $3 million and we'll go on. But he's in my 5. Yeah, he's in my 5. Mm-hmm.
Sticking with another United signing, and there's a couple on this list for me. Just bad business by the boys, the Red Devils. But number 5 is Onana for me. I I don't think that was a signing you needed to make, especially for that amount of money. And then I know he hasn't been producing. He's had a couple good performances, but he just looks shaky at the goalkeeper position. I think Ten Hag is really forcing him in there. I think you do need to sign De Gea back or even another goalkeeper because I feel like it's going to be a couple situation where you signed him and then another one comes in and you sit the bench for a little bit and then you start performing. Maybe, maybe not. But Onana is my 5th worst signing of the league right there.
Yeah, he's in my list as well, Benny, but he's a little further down the list. And this next one hurts me. So in the 4 slot, this one hurts me because
Okay.
I've had this guy's back. I really tried. I tried.
Yeah, I know who it is.
I tried my best. And Benny, you can answer for me.
Yeah.
But I tried my best with this man. I really did. And it's who's it, Benny?
It's Nicholas Jackson, huh?
It's Nicholas Jackson. The only reason why he's not lower is because he does have 2 goals. That's the only reason.
2.
But man, I'm losing hope very fast. It's a sinking ship.
Yeah.
Like the Titanic, it's split in half and it's going down fast.
So he's on my list too, but he's up there for me.
That's fair.
The 4th for me, this is an interesting one. And I think this has to do with due diligence not being done in Premier League. And I'm going to go with Tonali. This man was addicted or is addicted to betting, and they signed him for like $70 million. And now he sit out 10 months and has to go to rehab. I hope he's, that betting's an addiction. And I hope everyone on this podcast knows that, and they really overcome that. But now Newcastle's out that money and he might not play football again. That's just a loss. So that's 4 for me.
And Benny, you read my mind. He's in my 3 slot. It's I just want to take a quick second, a moment of silence to all those bettors out there that are struggling. So if we can just bow our heads for a good 3 seconds here. And we're back. Yeah, he's like you said, Benny, man's in trouble.
Yeah.
Newcastle. It's a tough scene. It's a tough scene.
It is a tough scene. My 3 for me is your boy Jono, not your boy no more, Kai Havertz.
Okay.
Signed for $82 million, and he looks awful. Literally awful. Like nothing more needs to be said because we talked about him a lot on this podcast, but that's bad business there by Arsenal.
So what was Arteta like? What did Arteta see? That's what I'm still trying to figure out. Like, because surely he had like some idea or saw something in him.
Yeah. See, Kai Havertz, from what I've seen at Chelsea, he wasn't a bad player. Yeah, his finishing's always kind of lacked a little bit, but getting the ball from the center mid and driving was always his biggest strong suit. And Arteta at the beginning was like playing with a 9, which I don't think he's a true 9. And I think Arteta was kind of chasing Pep a little bit. Like Pep made some signings, so I got to do something. I got to make some signings. I got to get players in. And somehow he went with Kai Havertz. I don't know, but
it's a little trickery from Chelsea there. A little trickery.
Trickery.
A little trickery, as I like to say. And we've already mentioned, so my next 2 have already been mentioned. Number 2 is Onana. Like I said, just absolute shambles. Absolute
He'll
shambles.
come good. So will
you know what, Loki? I hope he does for you guys. I really do. I don't think he's necessarily one of the worst keepers I've ever seen. He's had some moments. But I hope it works out for you guys. I really do. I hope it works out for you, but he's in my number 2 slot. Terrible signing as of right now.
And for my number 2, we've already been mentioned, but Nicholas Jackson, I had hope for him because he's strong. He makes good runs, but the man can't finish, bro. And
he can't.
You're a 9 in the Premier League, you got to be find the back of the net. Simple as that.
No, I
saw him this weekend and he can't finish. It's bad.
No, he can't. I think he's had more shots to go up for throw-ins than goals this year. Like I said, man with no confidence. He's out there. And then number 1, it's again my boy Kai Havertz. Trickery. It's the one thing Arteta has done wrong, in my opinion, to bring him in. That's the one thing. And
I can disagree with that, but we can get after Benny.
My number 1. It's not really from this season, but kind of from this year overall. And I have to go with Anthony. He's been one of the worst Premier League signings.
That's not this season.
I know. I said not this season, but I had to mention him just because what he was doing. He came on the pitch against City, and he's vividly trying to hurt players, and then get like, what is he doing? The man was signed for $95 million, and he has not produced anything. He's beaten women. allegedly,
Allegedly.
he's hurting players, specifically Doku, just trying to take his legs out on him. I've never seen that.
That was crazy.
That was crazy.
But I have another one. So I just had to say that. My actual number one from this season is Raya for Arsenal.
There we go.
I really don't understand that signing. I don't know if there was something else in the background that had to be done between Ramsdale and the management there, but I think Ramsdale was phenomenal last year. I thought he had some mess ups like most goalkeepers do, but to sign an actual number one starting goalkeeper and then to bring in another one, it made no sense to me. And now they're stuck. I don't know. Maybe they get rid of him in January, but I don't know.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth, Benny. That's what I was going to say to Jono.
That's
We've
good.
got a goalkeeper in Ramsdale that was competing for England's number one spot.
Yeah.
And you had to replace him, but it just didn't make sense to me.
At
and
all.
now you replaced him with somebody that's really struggling. So,
Yeah.
That's a good shot.
And I think that's maybe, I don't know, Birchie, if you've seen anything over there, but like that may have gotten under the skin of the fans too. Cause like, I think Ramsdale was a big favorite amongst Arsenal fans. Like he's a real favorite. So I don't know. I think that could be an issue moving forward for sure.
They're not with confidence today, that's for sure. Would they lose 3-1 tonight?
I didn't see the score. We can
I think it was 3-1. I think that's how it ended.
Did Ramsdale play?
Yeah, Ramsdale played today.
Yeah, it just like wrecks the whole situation. Goalies are all about rhythm and confidence. Like,
man, Ben White's no goal though.
The first one was a goal. Yeah.
Well, Logie, do you have anyone to add that they didn't mention? Because I have a couple.
Yeah, I was thinking. No one jumps out at me. Who do you have?
I had Caicedo.
Yeah.
That's purely because the amount of money that you spent on him
That's fair.
and has just been as good as Kevin Nolan was at Bolton. So
I think that he had that shot.
Or Mark Noble, bro.
Exactly. It's a solid Mark Noble in the middle. My haircut, by the way. I'm pulling the Mark Noble right now. What a guy. And then the other one I was going to say again, I hate that this has become the Chelsea podcast, but Robert Sanchez is a nightmare in goal too. He scares me every time he has the ball at his feet. I think he's a liability.
He does have some really, really stupid moments with his feet, but shot stopping ability, I mean he's been class in that aspect of it. To be fair, that he's had to really open up that avenue because he gave the ball away.
How's
that probably be an issue.
Does he work hard?
Huh?
Does he work hard?
I'm sure he has a couple. I'm sure he has moments. Yeah, but no, I think he's been a great shot stopper. To be fair, he just has some really, really numbskull moments sometimes when he has the ball at his feet. But yeah, no, that's a fair take though. Caicedo, I think he's played great the last month or so. I think he's
definitely gotten better. But
he's not going to be one to. He's not going to be a goal scorer or any of that. He's going to be the one that does dirty work, break up passes. Like he's a 6, you know. I've liked his performances the last couple matches. So yeah,
it's just when you go for that amount of money, you got to be doing something different that most people can't do. You know?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I agree with that. No, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
I think we're really seeing too when it comes to keepers, like how high of a level Ederson and Alisson are at.
And Pickford.
Like, okay, yeah, and Pickford. People keep wanting to bring in these keepers to play with their feet and to be sweepers and to be like Alisson and Ederson, but like Pickford. They are not. No one's at that level. No one can do it like that, and be a shot stopper and like control the box. Like, yeah, it's just tough.
It's not for everybody.
To be fair, they have their own mistakes both last. I think Alisson had some mistakes last season and Ederson as well. So mistakes are out there for keepers. It's just you haven't built up that repertoire of winning a Champions League or winning the Premier League or Golden Gloves, and to be able to do that. You know?
I mean, he gave that Arsenal game away. For being honest, like if he doesn't get that pass to Rice, that first goal, I think they don't score. I don't think they even come close to scoring. For being completely honest,
I agree.
Because Cucurella was working too hard back there.
Dude, he locked Saka. Saka was in his pocket. He's in his pocket, baby.
He was.
The hair.
All right. Logan, take it away.
Yeah, let's jump in. Top 5. Birchie, who's your 5?
So Okay, I have a top 3 for sure, and then there's like 4 or 5 that were battling for 5th and 4. But I'll make an executive decision. I'll pick 5, and then I'll do some honorable mentions. At 5, I'm going to go with Szoboszlai at Liverpool. I think that and the reason why I probably wouldn't even have him as a top 5 in any other season. I just don't think there has been really 5 outstanding signings. I think there's been 3 really good ones. And then he kind of just falls in as another decent signing. He's done well for us. He brings energy. He works hard. He has created chances. He looks dangerous. So I have him at 5, but I don't think he's the best. What about yourself?
I'm shocked, Birch. I think you're trying to avoid being biased because he's in my list, but he's much higher.
Really?
At 5, I have Vicario, Spurs keeper, been
Yeah.
class. I have a few Spurs players in this, sadly, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
4?
It is sad.
4. See, 4. I had James Ward-Prowse because I feel like he's given a new dynamic to West Ham. He completes the midfield 3 at the moment. He's the most consistent in their midfield. He's not too pricey. He is a Premier League player that has had experience. I think he's just a great all-round signing for West Ham. He fits the bill.
I like it. We got some variation here.
Yeah.
So my 4 is going to be Diaby at Aston Villa. I feel like he's really elevated that attack. Goal involvements. He's really like Ollie Watkins is playing out of his mind now with Diaby up there with him. I think he's the type of player that could have gone to a bigger club, but Villa was able to get him, and I think he's been great for them.
Yep. Well, he's my 3. 3 goals, 3 assists on the season. All the same reasons as above. So,
Sure.
yeah.
All right. My 3, back to Spurs. Mickey Van de Ven really solidified that back line. Another player that's kind of elevated those around him. Last season, Romero was terrible, and now all of a sudden he's
Beast.
back and looking like a monster. And I feel like center back partnerships are huge, and having someone next to you that is really good helps a lot. So going from Eric Dyer to Van de Ven, it's good business, and Spurs look really strong at the back. So I got to give it to him.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good one. So I'm at 2 now, right?
Yep.
2, I have Declan Rice. Solid signing. Scored big goals, big games, creating, holding down the fort for the boys in Arsenal. Yeah. I mean, it's Declan Rice. He's been a good player. So,
Yeah.
enough said.
So Declan Rice didn't make it in my list. He's an honorable mention for me. He's probably like 6th. Like I really debated putting him in, but I just feel like for the money, he hasn't changed Arsenal enough. Like at times this season, Arsenal don't even look as good as they were last season. I think he's a great player. I think he's helped them a bunch. And maybe if we do these lists in 3 months, at the end of the season, he'll be right at the top. But right now, he's like 6th for me. But my 2 is going to be Szoboszlai.
Wow.
I think he's been unreal. I think he's kind of carried that Liverpool midfield.
Yeah. Out of all
like
the ones we have, for sure.
Yeah, without having like a proper 6, I feel like he's had to do so much extra work. And I feel like he's just been absolutely killing it, attacking, defending, everything. He's been a monster, so I got to give it
He's
to him.
needed to be. Liverpool needed a whole reboot in the midfield, and we signed McAllister, who quite honestly just hasn't lived up to what we needed him to be.
No.
Endo has seen the field for 20 minutes.
That was an emergency. Signing.
Gravenberch.
Good old Gravy, he's trying his best. He played well the other day, to be fair. So hopefully they can improve. But
my question is, you both have not said your one yet, and I think on this podcast it's going to be. And is it on the team that's top of the league right now?
Yes,
it is. It has to be.
There's no other person.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'll be honest, it pains me to say it because one, it's Tottenham, and I know Johnny's loving this. So that is number one reason. Number two is James Madison has become such a cocky little man since he's just acting around like he's some sort of big gammon around the field now. Oh, I'm James Madison. I'm top of the league.
But he is that guy right now. He
is the guy.
is.
He is that
Yeah.
guy. He is. He's that
He
guy.
is. He
He's on it.
absolutely he has to start for England at the Euros. If he is not starting
right.
for England, Southgate's got it. Like, look in the
Yeah.
mirror. Like, that man is so good.
Nah, he's been phenomenal. I
And
know
they
Johnny-
didn't spend that much for him. I mean, his club got relegated, so Leicester kind of had to sell him for whatever they could get. But like
So who would
United,
the,
like
who would the three be
Chelsea.
for England?
What?
Who would the three be? You got Deck,
I mean, I feel like you played
Bellingham.
and Madison. You like figure out a way for those three to play together.
I'm trying to. Who else would it even be though?
I mean, Foden can play in the middle.
Fill in there.
Foden.
Yeah, if you want to play with like 2 6s, you have to play Calvin Phillips, but that man never touches the field. So
He'll still be there though.
He'll still be there.
Jordan,
yeah.
Jordan
still be there.
Henderson will probably be in the squad.
For what?
Yeah.
We don't need. That's a whole.
Yeah,
I'm
we don't
not-
need to
I'm not
give
English.
Richie stress.
I'm not English, but I can put out a better lineup than what they put out. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I know we're playing all these kind of warm-up games, these qualifying games. So Gareth Southgate is out there trying to figure some new players out and things and playing like, I don't know, different things going on. But
Yeah.
that man, Jordan Henderson, cannot be there. If he is there, I might support the USA at the World Cup next time it comes around.
You are,
Maybe you'll be living here.
you are half American, so it makes sense.
Well, and to be fair, right now, I know we don't need to talk that much about England, but if Southgate had eyes, he would see that he could play Declan Rice holding by himself with Jude and James Madison in front and have John Stones step into midfield like he does for City.
I like John Stones.
He's unreal when he does it.
I like John Stones.
So,
You know what, though, Logan? That makes too much sense for Gareth Southgate.
it does. Maybe it does.
Too much sense.
That's fair.
All
All right.
right.
Well, that top 5 list, I agree with. I don't think there's any other one to add to the list. John,
I have some honorable mentions. I have some more
Yeah.
honorable
I'll let
mentions.
you mention them.
Low on the honorable mentions. Cole Palmer. I watched him on the weekend. That first half performance was absolutely phenomenal. He was making Brentford look silly. And he's young. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he could be really good for Chelsea. And I think 40 million for somebody that young with that much potential is a good signing. Hopefully they keep him. Then I was going to say Guardiola at Man City, solid signing. Jeremy Doku at Sea, another solid signing. And then slightly outside the box of signings, but Ange Postecoglou coming in.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So,
I can like that. I like that, Birch.
yep.
That's good, Rich.
Yeah, just want to round off with that.
That's a good take.
So looking ahead this weekend, it's another packed weekend, few rivalries. So I want to get some predictions. First, we're going to go with the Chelsea or the Arsenal versus Newcastle game. Predictions.
Yeah, big game.
Massive game.
I think
I'll go
Arsenal
first.
need the points. Sorry, go ahead, Luke. Just go ahead.
No, yeah, you're good. I agree. Arsenal do need the points, but it's at St. James's Park. And Miguel Almiron scored today against United, so he's just going to score again this weekend.
Lock it in.
I think I'm going to say 2-1 Newcastle. The crowd gets them the 3 points, just that environment.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 3-2 Newcastle with the 87th minute winner. Callum Wilson.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Details. Okay.
Yep. 87th minute.
Go on, Johnny.
You know, I'm gonna stick with those boys in red. I'm gonna go 2-1 to Arsenal. I do think that Newcastle has really good games, but they also they're not the most consistent team out there, I don't think. I don't know. I just feel like Arsenal is going to they're going to go in pretty confident. I think they're going to walk away with a massive 3 points. And they're just going to keep going. They're going to keep going. They're not going to get separated from Spurs anymore, I don't think. I think they're going to get a big 3 points this weekend. Yeah.
It's fair. Now, I'm going to be kind of boring. I think it's going to be a draw, like a 1-1, 2-2 draw. I think Arsenal, I don't know, this might be a little crazy to say, but I think it's a bigger game for Arsenal than it is for Newcastle at this point in time. I think Newcastle at home, in their cauldron, their fans are going to be on it. Arsenal, I don't know if they've got the character to come out of a place like that with 3 points. I think they might be able to scrape a point away, and if they don't, I think Newcastle will take all 3. But I'm going to go with a 1-1, 2-2 draw.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Which one is it though? 1-1 or 2-2?
We'll lock in 2-2. It'll be a goal fest. Yep.
Fest.
Fair enough.
I like that.
So this one is on Monday at Tottenham versus Chelsea. I'm just going to start here. I don't think there's any way Chelsea wins this game. I think Tottenham win 2-0, could be 3-0. And that's that. I don't know why you're giving that look, John.
Wow.
Sorry.
Right. So if we did a little research, Benny Lee, we did a little research on Chelsea and the top teams they played this year. Liverpool tied them. Arsenal should have beat them, tied them. Honestly, we should have probably won both of those games, so I'm going to be completely honest. I think Chelsea is a team that plays up to their competition or down to their competition. I do think we are going to get a 1-1 tie at Spurs this weekend or on Monday. I think again we're a team that plays up to the level, and then obviously you see this last weekend we play down. And again, it's all about if they score goals. That's really what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. I like our back line, I really do. Young squad, so you never know what you're going to get. But I think we're going to get draws on Monday. I really do.
I'm glad you think that.
Thanks, mate.
I don't. I think Tottenham will win 2-0. I think James Maddison's going to tear the midfield apart. I don't think your defense is as strong. I do think Hugo is playing well. We'll go back to him, but
he works hard.
I think he does work hard. He does. I don't think Jackson's going to score. I don't think he's got enough to go through. I think Romero is going to lock it down. We've already talked about Tottenham's players and the signings in the back, so I think they're just too solid. Son's going to bag 1 at least, maybe 2 if he doesn't even get a hat trick. Then 2 or 3-0. I'm going to lock in 2-0. I need to be decisive here. 2-0 Tottenham, and they're at home.
Yeah, fair. Jono, I do think Chelsea's going to make it a game. It's a derby. There's a lot of history of Chelsea dominating that rivalry, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think 2-1 Spurs. Sonny getting the winner past the 85th minute, and Chelsea's goal is just another Cole Palmer PK because he's the only man in that squad with enough confidence to take one. So
it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
I mean, it really shouldn't. Chelsea has 3 wins this season: Luton, Burnley, and Fulham. Luton and Burnley are in relegation fights right now, and Fulham is at 14th. Scraping by because Everton's going to pass them this weekend. Jono, Chelsea is a mid-table team at best this season, and this game, I don't think you should have any confidence in it. I really don't. I think you're going to get your hopes up, so you should go in thinking that your squad's going to lose because that's going to what happened.
We tied Liverpool and Arsenal already.
But you were up 2-0 with like 70 minutes left, and you somehow tied that game.
Right. I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
Even a little bit longer, you guys probably would have lost that game.
Yeah, like I said, I think if we somehow can get an early goal, and I think we can just make some things interesting. I do. But I'd say we dominated Arsenal. We killed them. Again, it's just those little stupid mistakes that come down to it, and that's kind of why we're at 11th in the table right now. It's just those little mistakes. We can control a game for 85 minutes, and we black out for 5 minutes, and we lose games.
Question though, John, if Tottenham go 1-0 up, just say they score an early
Yeah.
5-10 minute goal.
I think it's over.
That's game over, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's over. Yeah.
With that crowd too, get out of hand, bro.
We'll see.
Chelsea.
Poch is coming back. He's got a little revenge tour, you know. I think he's gonna pull up sleeve.
I don't think so.
Oh, I
I
don't
think
know.
Poch-
So Jono, I've been in your shoes very recently, and here in a couple weeks, that denial is gonna start to turn to acceptance, and it's gonna really. It's going to take a weight off your shoulders. You're going to feel really good.
You know what is beyond me? How is United above us right now? I just can't comprehend that. I go to sleep every night, and I'm like, how is United ahead of Chelsea right now? I've done the math. I've carried the 3. I've added the 2.85, and it's just not adding up. I don't get it.
And yet you have more hope than me.
I do have some hope. And you know what? I do get shot down a lot. I do. Will there be a big parlay? Yes, there will be. But we'll see what happens, boys. That's all I got to say.
Come on, let's just send some money to charity. Let's donate some money to charity.
You know what? It would probably be smart. Yeah, it would be.
Everton is 2 points away from you. That's all I got to say. 2 points.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, they are.
And we're buzzing. So let's do an honorable mention real quick. Brighton versus Everton. Who do we think is going to win that game?
Where is it?
It's at Brighton. MX.
Is it? I thought it was at.
We're on away, unless I'm mistaken. I can check real quick.
Oh, you might be right. No, it's at Everton. It's at Everton. Yeah, it's at Goodison.
Oh, go ahead and lock that in then. Yeah, that's a win for Everton for me, and I'm thinking it's going to be probably 2-1, 1-0 Everton. Yep.
I'll give Everton a point. It'll be a draw. I'll give you a point.
I don't know.
I'm going 2-0 Brighton, I think. I'm going 2-0. That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay.
Is that spiteful 2-0, John, or what?
So what?
Is that a spiteful 2-0 because of Benny coming at Chelsea like that?
Yeah, I was going to give him a goal, but then when Benny said that, I was like, I'm not giving him a goal. So Brighton walk it away with 3 points at the Goodison. I'm about to say, can we talk about their stands real quick? Have you seen those pictures? Bertie, what you said in that chat?
Mate, there's going to be a lot of pensioners losing legs, bro.
You know, I'm super thankful. I'm super thankful they don't let you bring alcohol into that stadium or in the stadiums in England, because if so, there would be a lot of problems, Benny. There'd be a lot of problems.
Hey,
people are going to get hurt, though, man.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, and I'll just Benny, I got you. Brighton's been up and down. I think this is going to be another down for them. I'm saying, I'll say 2-1 Everton. I like it.
I mean, we've been buzzing. We won 3 today. We won 1-0 on the weekend. DCL looks in form. I'm confident in my squad right now. I can't say the same for one of this podcast, but I am.
Good momentum, Benny. Good momentum.
How many games have they been informed in? The last 1 or 2?
Probably 4, honestly. We got an unlucky loss, but we've been playing well the last 4 games.
Yeah, since you started scoring goals. If you guys can score goals, you'll get some points.
And our back line's solid. Tarkovsky and Brentwaite, or how you pronounce his name, Bertie. Quality signs. I'm not signing with players.
Brantwaite looks. I watched him, like I said, the weekend. He looked fantastic, solid, and he's massive, by the way.
How big is he?
I reckon 6'6", 6'5", 6'6".
Oh
thick,
my gosh,
strong.
That's a body.
And he is young. He's good.
Hey, I love my squad right now. Let me just say that. So, any last words for anybody on this podcast?
Nothing from me.
I'll be thinking of you, Jono. I'll be thinking of you.
Hey, thoughts and prayers to you, Jono, as you prepare to watch that game on Monday. You're gonna be.
Yeah, I do appreciate it. I do have a big meeting on Monday, but it might have to be pushed.
Don't waste your time, bro. You're not gonna miss much.
We might call.
Anyways, on the. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Banter Boys in the Premier League. We'll catch you guys next week. Love.